another one.
So the first question comes brought to us by a question that I got in the chat from a new subscriber, JT. Thank you, JT, for your subscription and for your amazing, amazing questions these past couple of weeks. So the question is, what is BDD, Gherkins, and Cucumber? Pretty much, can you enhance and touch on the topic of BDD, Gherkins, and Cucumber? And I said, absolutely, I will. Let's start the timer. So to start off, BDD stands for behavior-driven development. It is a method of software development, which it is fairly new. I mean, fairly new that I started hearing about it about 8 to 10 years ago. And I haven't really seen much adaptation to the whole style of software development, but I have seen adaptation to some of the tooling around it. And that tooling in particular would be Cucumber, Gherkins, things like that. So the way that BDD works is that you are supposed to build software based on the behavior of the software, as opposed to, I mean, it has some relation to test-driven development, but it's supposed to be based off the behavior and not like, so when you're writing the requirements, it's supposed to be really, really easy to understand what the requirements are so that the developers can know what to write. The stakeholders can easily know what it's about, what the requirements are. So it makes it very easy. Documentation is very quick, things like that. Now, so now we go into what is Gherkins then, and we're not talking about pickles, right? We're talking about the format, the way that it's written. So Gherkins follows a format of given, when, then, right? Given, when, then. So what do we mean by given, then? Given, when, then. So given is going to be your preconditions. When is going to be what is the action that's happening, and then it's going to be the expected results. All right. So we're going to start. So it's going to be like this. Given you have 5 users set up in the database, when I request a list of users, then I get returned 5 users. So that's the thought process behind the Gherkins. And you're supposed to, and behind BDD, you're supposed to make it super, super easy for everyone to understand. So you'd have a business analyst, you'd have maybe a QA, you'd have a developer. They're getting together to hash out what the requirements are given, written in this Gherkins format. And what happens is so now if we keep going a little bit further, now when it comes to development, so the intention was you can generate, like, and this is where Cucumber comes in, you can generate part of the code that needs to be written based on that. And then now you just, so like it'll create like the function and stuff like that. And then from there you can like fill in the actual code that's going to make the software, the application perform what it's supposed to do. So that's where like Cucumber comes about. And with Cucumber, so from what I remember, Cucumber was specific to Java, although they might have expanded it to more. But let's take Java for instance, right? So inside of Java with Cucumber, you have what they call a feature file. And inside of that feature file, you're going to say, okay, what is the feature that this feature file is going to be like the requirements that is describing, okay? And then you're going to have different scenarios for that feature. So the scenario would be like, I mean, I don't have an example of a particular feature, but let's say we have a feature of user login, and then the scenario is going to be valid user successfully logs in, right? And then you're going to say, so now you're going to say, when given I have credentials for a valid user, and the username and password is ABC, password is 123. when I go to the login page and I enter the username of ABC and I enter in the password of 123, then, and I click on the login button, then I should be taken to the My Account page. So that's one scenario. Another scenario would be when a user with invalid credentials logs in. Now it's going to be the same scenario. So when I given that I have a user with invalid credentials, when I enter the username of XYZ and the password of 456, and I click the login button, then I should be given an error message of invalid login. And the idea also behind BDD was that it should be super descriptive. Super descriptive. What do I mean by super descriptive? So one of the things that was said was there is no such thing as a bug in BDD. It's only undefined requirements. You got that? So that was the concept behind it. And that way, now that all of that gets translated into Cucumber, and then you write the code around that to make it happen. And that's how the software would be developed. Now, like I said, from what I've seen, it hasn't been adapted exactly in that context. I'm sure there are some people who do it out there, but what I have seen is that companies will use it for QA and the likes, right? So for instance, at my company, we don't use Cucumber, but we use Behave, which is pretty much the Cucumber for Python, right? And we have our feature files, and we write all of our tests that way. And then we'll have the code to make the tests run. Very cool, very nifty, and we will definitely be getting into, like, after we're done with API testing, because JT requested, we are going to be getting into BDD, Cucumber, and Behave, and Gherkins after we're done with API testing. That's a fact, though. All right. So that's the plan for moving forward. But that is a quick insight and overview on BDD, behavior-driven development. Repeat after me: behavior-driven development. That's a quick insight on that. Talking about Gherkins, the language of BDD, and Cucumber or Behave or whatever other. I think SpecFlow might be one as well that uses the Gherkins language. Not 100% sure about that. Do not quote me on that. But yes, that is where we are at, right? And like I said, we'll be having concepts and overviews on BDD, Gherkins, Cucumber, Behave, maybe SpecFlow, if I'm right. And we're going to be doing live streams on it, okay? We are going to be doing live streams on it as well. All right, so hopefully that brought some insight into the realm of behavior-driven development. I like behavior-driven development, but I haven't been able to use it to its true form yet, but maybe one day, just maybe one day, all right? Alrighty then.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.